Alright everybody, in this video I want to share with you guys how you can create some fire guitar beats all from scratch in FL Studio. Now the thing is, I know a lot of these guitar tutorials can be a little bit complex, so the main thing I want to show you guys in this one is that you can actually keep your guitar patterns pretty simple but still have a super fire sounding sample. So we are not going to waste any more time, let's just jump straight in. Alright, so we are now here in FL Studio 21. Now before I break down this whole sample right here, I just want to play you guys how it sounds. Super fire. Alright, so maybe you guys already heard it, but the guitar is actually pretty simple, but the whole sample still sounds crazy. So for this one, just so you guys know, the BPM is 115 and the scale of the sample is A sharp minor. Now, if you want to go for these more simple guitar patterns, you obviously have to have a good sounding guitar VST. So in this case, I'm just using this pick nylon guitar over here in Contact, and I have just switched over to this Rio preset right here. You can also go over to the guitar settings and make sure your microphone is on the main and not on the close one. And then we have the guitar pattern right here. As you guys can see, there is really not too much going on with this. It's very simple, it's straightforward, but I'm obviously just going to explain it very quickly for you guys. So this is how the guitar sounds by itself. Then we just have this repeating over for the second part as well. Now the first thing I pretty much did for this guitar pattern right here was actually not anything to do with the notes, but I actually just went over to this magnet tool over here and I pressed on third beat. Then you are literally just going to make a normal A sharp minor chord, so you can have a note right here, here and here. And then just what you want to do with these top two notes over here is just pitch them up one octave while still keeping the lowest note at the bottom down there. Then when you have them lined up over here, you kind of just want to move this top one a little bit off to the side. And then I just added a few filler notes on the second part. As you guys can see, we are actually just repeating the same notes we have on top over here. So this F is pretty much the exact same as this F over here. It's just one octave lower. And then we are repeating this C sharp a little bit later over here as well. So once you are done with the first pattern, you're pretty much just going to copy it over and pitch it up 5 semitones like this, while you can actually also delete some of the notes. And like I said, we want to keep this guitar pattern simple. So literally all we're doing is just copying this over 3 more times. So that is actually how easy it is to make a simple guitar pattern. Now, the most important thing when you are going for these simple patterns is that you have to make sure that you are not overflowing the pattern with notes, right? So we're just having a few notes hit here and there. So as you guys can see on this second bar over here, we are literally just having 3 notes. 3 notes in one bar is literally nothing. So it is very simple. You just have to leave some space in between the notes and just keep things very consistent throughout the whole sample. For the effects on the guitar, I just added this CLA guitar using the acoustic shrunken preset. Then I obviously have a little bit of roam just to give that guitar some more ambience. Then we also have a little bit of a EQ to cut out the low frequencies, and lastly just the imager to widen out the guitar sound a little bit. So as you guys can see, I'm not even doing anything crazy with the effects. Pretty much both the pattern and the effects are super simple for this guitar, so you don't have to overcomplicate it. You just have to make sure to actually put in the right effects and the right notes in your guitar patterns. Now with all of this being said, I actually did somewhat of a cool trick with this guitar to make it a little bit more realistic. So what I actually did was I added a little bit of a fret slide over here towards the end of the pattern. So that right there just gives it somewhat of that realistic feel we want from the guitar. It is obviously routed to the same exact effects as the guitar as well, just so we keep that sound consistent. The next sound I added was actually a copy of the same exact insert from the guitar, but this time I wanted some more movement in the samples, so I actually pitched up the guitar pattern as well. As you guys can see, this pattern is also very simple, but I did make sure to actually go over to the magnet tool this time and go over to cell mode and not have it on the third beat. And then again, I'm just kind of using these same exact notes we have from the first guitar, but it is, like I said, in a higher octave since we want more of those higher frequencies. So with this counter melody, I did work a little bit more in those half steps, as you guys can see, but still the pattern is very easy to make. Now with those 2 elements, I did actually go in and open up a one shot and then just copied the same exact guitar pattern from the first guitar over to the one shot. But just so the one shot didn't have the same exact movement as our first guitar, I did go over to the effects and add a halftime to it. Just kept the halftime at standard settings like they are, and then the one shot gave us a little bit of a cool sound. And lastly, for the patterns, I just opened up the Scarby Rickenbacker bass in Contact, and I literally just put 1 note over here on the root note, and again 1 more note on the second root note right there. So far everything sounds like this. So the loop was starting to sound a bit cool, but I definitely wanted to add a little bit more to it. So one thing that is also very, very easy to do when you are making these simple guitar loops, it is to play around with different phrases. So I did just go into Spice and found a couple of different phrases. So I did start off with a flute phrase over here. We have a little bit of a vocal phrase, and then we also have some random accents here and there. So the cool thing about these phrases is that you just want to play a little bit around with them, try to mix together a couple of the different accents and phrases just to see if it can really enhance the whole sample. So that right there was pretty much the whole sample. The last things I did was I just rendered it out as an audio file, and then I double clicked it and pitched it down by 3 semitones. So obviously, as you guys can see, it doesn't actually have to be that complicated to create a good sounding guitar sample. But obviously this was just a little bit of a quick one. So if you guys want a little bit more in-depth and raw videos on how to actually create good quality samples, and then I have actually released the producer master course. It is literally a course covering everything that you need to know if you want to become a music producer. So I'm seriously covering everything from beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. So I'm obviously not holding any information back on this one. I'm sharing all the sauce. So if you guys decide to join the course, you guys are seriously going to take your music to the next level. So I'm literally teaching you guys everything, understanding FL Studio, how to actually create good quality samples, also stuff like what actually makes a sample good, what sounds to use, what sounds not to use, obviously how to mix your samples, good drum bounce, how to create good quality beats, and so on. But I just want to let you guys know that that is actually not it. Once you actually master the craft of creating good quality beats, I will also teach you guys how to actually make money off the music that you are producing. So you guys are getting all of this inside of the course. With this, you'll also be included into a private Discord community. You will also get a couple of my best-selling kits completely free. And lastly, not to go on and on, but the course is going to be updated, which means that everybody that has the course will get free updates for life. So obviously, if it sounds interesting, you can just go on my website. It is BBMarko.com, or you guys can just click the first link down below. But with all of that being said, now that we have a fire sample, let's go on and put some drums. So we're just starting off with a snare. Let's turn the velocity up a little bit, just so it hits a bit harder. I'm just gonna drag in a hi-hat MIDI from the Euphoria bundle kit as well. It's a little bit of a cool bounce for sure. Kind of slow it down right here. That's fire. Yeah, we're starting to get a cool bounce right now. Can't wait to put the kicks and the 808s in later on. But right now we definitely need to add that 808. Alright, this is hard.